Welcome, everyone. Just a reminder that Mrs. Shannon is sitting Shiva, and it's at 42 Strawberry. Hours for coming to Nichum Avelim are 10 in the morning till 2, and then again 4 to 8. Also, for those that didn't hear yesterday, we did send out to the Chulin and Beitar $1,800 for the month of Kislev. It should be a schus for all of us. Again, anybody who wants to participate, even on a one-time donation, please speak to Rich, and he'll, set you up with all the information. And if you want, he'll even give you a kiss. No, you won't? To give a Baal Tzedakah a kiss? I'll never forget Ramatisyo Solomon used to come and saw Talmud Chacham, used to give him a kiss. It was, on the cheek, not on the mouth. Not on the mouth. If you give $100,000, Rich will maybe think about giving her a kiss on the mouth. Yeah. No, but I remember the warmth of Rav Solomon. I remember I had a ma'aseh with him that we were by a meeting, and it was about Daf Yomi, and they were going around the room, the different Magidei Shiurim, how many times they finished the cycle of Daf Yomi. So I remember at the time, I said 5. And then, in the middle, I raised my hand and I said, I'm not sure, maybe it's 4. I wasn't doing the arithmetic. It was 5 or 4. I remember Rabbi Solomon came over to me afterwards and says, "Don't worry, if it wasn't, you'll do it that many times, don't worry." Yeah, it's such a warmth to him. Okay, we're sponsored by the Fisher family, Lishmas Basi Bas Rabbi Shlom Ben Avram Alevi Perel Bas Ruvain. We are learning also the Lishmas Dav Ben Chaim, El Yomis Mechayisar Yaakov Ben Bas Yeleya, Avram Binyam Benish Ben Malki Hudis and family, by Yol Kugman and family for the Panas Gesund and Nachas, L'Refu Shalema for Avidu Arya Ben Rivkin, Lebas Chayisara, Chana Bas Shashabina, Rivka Bas Shirleya, Esther Fadl Bas Chana, Moshe Meir Ben Esther Fadl, Yitzchak Ben Tzim Ben Dusha, and Meir Ben Chayisara. They should have a Refu Shalem B'Ser Shechar Yisrael. I can't believe that I forgot to mention this first. The shul today had a glorious simcha. I mean, Rabbi say we should get up and do Rikida. Chani and Gedalia Engel's children had a girl today after waiting 6.5 years. Yeah, it's a simcha. It was a very hard 6.5 years for them. It was a very hard 6.5 years. Now they have a little maidala. It should be Tzeichel Gadol Ben Torah L'Chopel L'Masim Torah. It's a really big simcha. It's a really big simcha. Yeah.
And also we put down the down payment for the
we due to Rich Leonard's persistence. I said I was going to make an appeal on Hanukkah, so he said, "I'll front the money now so we could get it into motion." So thank you for really working to beautify the shul. Hashem says, "You take care of my house, I'll take care of your house." And when we put an effort into making our mikdash mat nice, it definitely will bring bracha to our own homes. So thank you, Rich. So we're up to Mishnah Aleph in the 11th parak. I have bad news for you. This is not as hard as the last few days. I'm sorry. If you came here for really, challenging yourself. Reishis Hagez. Reishis Hagez is one of the 24 matnas kahuna is to give the first of the fleece when you shear your sheep, the first of the fleece to the kayin. Reishis Hagez noig baratz b'chutzaretz. It's practiced in Eretz and in the diaspora. B'fnei habayis v'shloi b'fnei habayis, where the temple is, and Ravanasein or Rabbim when there's no temple. Chulin, avalei b'mikdashim, but not animals of kachim. So now the Mishnah says, Chaymer bazraya b'chayayim b'kevim reishis hagez. There's a chumrah of the what we spoke about in the last parak, the right foreleg, the cheeks, and the maw over the first of fleece. Shazraya b'chayayim b'keva noyagim b'bakar u'b'tzayin. It's noyag both by cattle and by both sheep and goats. B'meruba b'muat, whether you have 5 or you only have 1. V'reishis hagez eina noig ela b'rechelos. Even though it says sign, and usually sign is sheep or goats, this is only by sheep. V'eina noig ela b'meruba. We'll see, according to Beis Shammai, there has to be 2. According to Beis Hillel, you have to have 5, as the Mishnah now goes on to say. V'kamahu meruba. What's considered a lot? Beis Shammai shtei rechelos, 2 sheep. Shenemar Yechaya ish eglas bacher ushnei tzayin. A man will raise a calf and 2 sheep. So 2 sheep is considered a flock. Beis Hillel aimim chamesh. Shenemar chamesh tzayin atzuyos. 5 sheep producing. It has to be a minimum of 5 sheep. Reb Daisa ben Hyrcanus, but now, how much do the sheep have to produce? How much wool do they have to produce to be chayiv? Reb Daisa ben Hyrcanus, it's only chamesh v'cheles geizos mana mano pras. It's a very interesting lashon, mana mano pras. It means that each of the sheep have to produce at least a total of a mana and a half of wool in order for it to be chayiv. Then chayav reishis hagez. The Chachamim say no. Any 5 sheep that produces wool, chamesh v'cheles geizes kol shein. Even if you shear it very little from each one, you still have to give reishis hagez. V'kama noisneloi. How much do you have to give? Mishkal chamesh slam b'Yehuda, the weight of 5 slam in Yehuda, and in the Galil, where the seller was half the weight, shein eses slam b'Galil. And it has to be melubin, whitened, v'loit tzai, not dirty. In other words, you can't count the dirt on the wool in the weight. You have to whiten it and then weigh it. Now, what's the shear of the weight of 5 slam? Kedei lasis mimenu beged cotton, to make the smallest garment for a kohen, which is the weight of 5 sela. Shenemar titain lo, you should give him, and titain is a lashon matana. It has to be a gift. Sheyehei by kedei matana. It should be worthy of a gift. Lo hispik litna lo, if you didn't get a chance to give it to him, at shitzvai, until you dyed it. You went ahead and dyed it red. So you was koinit b'shinui and potter. Now normally if you koinit something b'shinui, you have to pay at least the amount that it was. But here, the only time you have to give reishis hagez is if the wool is here. The wool is not here now. It's different. So you're potter from giving reishis hagez. Libnoi v'loitzvai. If you just whitened it and you didn't dye it, then chayiv. That's not changing it, and you're chayiv. Halekach geis soinoi shel nachri. If you buy wool from a guy, potter reishis hagez, because that wool didn't have a chayiv of reishis hagez. Halekach geis soinoi shel chaveiroi. If you bought wool from your friend, Now, it depends. Im shir hamoicher, if the seller kept some of the wool for himself, then hamoicher chayiv. Then the moicher has to give the share of Reishis Hagez, even if he didn't keep the full amount, but if he kept some of it, he has to give the full share of the Reishis Hagez to the Kohen. Lo yishir, if he sold it all, then alekeh chayiv. However, interesting din, the last din of the Mishnah, hayuloi shnei minim. If there are two types, shkufais, gray wool, Rav says it's not black, it's not white. Shkufais, gray, ulevanais, and white. Machaloi shkufas, avaloi levanais. If, let's say, I sold Yaakov the gray and I kept the white, zacharim avaloi nekevis, I sold him the male wool, but not the female wool, which is softer and better. Zen oisin la'atzmai, v'zen oisin la'atzmai. Yaakov gives Reishis Hagez from the gray ones, and I give the Reishis Hagez from the white ones. He gives the Reishis Hagez from the male, and I give the Reishis Hagez from the female. We will again have a second Marav again at 7:45.